Hey guys, Brian Stevens here with Mortgage Shots. Today we have Mike Fawaz, and he is the Executive VP over at Rocket Mortgage TPO. You might have seen over the past couple of days, Rocket has come out with some pretty lofty expectations for their 2024-25 goals in the TPO space. And today we're going to speak with Fawaz about some of the things that Rocket is doing right now to help loan officers meet their goals. And of course, when they meet their goals, we meet our goals. So Mike, how are we doing today?
Good morning, Brian. How are you, my brother?
Doing great. Having a great weekend. It's Monday. We got a full week in front of us. Great stuff to do, loans to write. So listen, I'm new to originations again after 15 years of not writing. So the technology is new to me. Loans are loans. I just closed a loan with you guys over there, Rocket TPO, in 8 business days. Yeah. And I'm wet behind the ears, new to loans. So I know your systems are wildly efficient. Tom Appleton, who's my account rep, is amazingly interactive and cooperative with everything he's done over there. My experience being new back to loans is I can't believe how darn easy it is to write loans these days. So if you're going to, looking at doubling your TPO originations, clearly you have the systems down. But can you tell me a couple of things that you're doing that makes Rocket pretty unique in this space right now?
Yeah, for sure. And thank you for asking. Look, maybe I'll start with this. I think one of the unique things that we do is the level of expertise that we provide our broker partners. For example, you're talking about Tom Appleton, correct?
Yep.
Did you know that Tom Appleton has been with Rocket Mortgage for 18 years and 7 months? You're speaking to someone that's been with us at this company for 18 years. He was a loan originator. He was a banker. He's done the retail side and the wholesale side. He's one of our best. And we're so blessed to have him and lucky to have him. But again, truly, if I think about it, the average tenure of our account executives is almost, I think, over 10 years. Every single person in our world that's servicing our broker partners, folks like you that just came back to the business. And by the way, very, very excited about what you're going to be doing. I'm watching you. I'm looking at some of the folks that you're working on bringing on. I mean, the sky is the limit for you guys for sure. But when I think about the experience from our end, we're providing our broker partners folks that's done this business for the last 10 plus years. They've been through a couple of markets. They know what they're talking about. They're experts. And that's why you're able to get loans closed at a record time, 8 days and 9 days and less than 10 days. Those are all incredible things. And we're very excited to do that for you.
Yeah, we actually went from meeting the client and originating that loan to closing in 8 days. This wasn't somebody who was sitting in our pipe for weeks. I mean, this was a brand new client, 8 business days later. So, I mean, loan officers, they should be aware of this. But I think there's a lot of people watching this right now saying, okay, Brian, but tell me some of the great stuff they're doing with some of the programs that they have. So your 2-1 buy down to me is still amazing. That gives me an absolute advantage over all my competition in my local market. I could take that loan to anybody and win a deal.
Maybe I'll start with this. And I think everybody that knows me knows how I kind of do business. They know, like, I'm a very straight shooter. We believe that everything we roll out to the broker community should be of value. I don't like all these big things and smoke and mirrors and, oh my God, this sounds great, but you can't do anything with it. Our ultimate goal is to continue to provide value where we believe the broker community can take advantage of it. For example, this 2-1 buy down, this isn't anything new that Rocket just created. However, all we did is we said, okay, you know what? The market is where it's at. There's been a ton of anticipation for the Fed rate cuts. There's been a ton of conversations around buyers looking into purchasing a home, but they're waiting for the right market. They're struggling to figure out how to pay for down payment, or also looking for lower interest rates. So we're like, okay, you know what? Let's provide value to the broker community. Let's put our focus in providing value when it comes to purchase. And all we did is we took this 2-1 buy down and we said, when your clients qualify for this mortgage, we're going to fully fund the 2-1 buy down cost. Meaning you're going to put your clients into a loan for the first 2 years, the first year at the 2% lesson rate, the second year at a 1% lesson rate at no cost, no realtors having to put in any concessions, no buyers, no builders, nothing. This is literally a direct value to you and your clients. And that's what we love about it, is the ability to do so. But I'm sure you've heard, on Friday, we released the new loan limits.
Yeah.
For 2024. We're the first lender in the country to provide the new loan limits for 2025 to the broker community. I was asked, why is it a big deal? And my answer is like, typically loan limits, I believe the anticipated day is sometime in November 26th. Typically, you don't see lenders releasing loan limits until sometime end of October, early November. And now every single broker partner with Rocket Pro TPO, as of the 13th of September, are able to lock rates and fund loans based on the new loan limits. And if you saw the numbers, it went from 766, 550 to 802, 650. That is a significant increase. And if you have clients that are looking to get into a mortgage but were hesitant because they wouldn't qualify for a conventional mortgage based on loan limit, now they can, and you can take advantage of it. Your clients can benefit off of it. And Rocket Pro TPO, because of our position and our size and what we hold in equity, we're able to hold these loans and fund them and not have to worry about selling them back to Fannie or Freddie and holding them as long as we need to until the loan limit goes out to the public. And that's a big deal. That is a true investment in broker community. That is us providing value for you and your client.
Yeah, for anyone watching this right now, I've been familiar with what Rocket TPO has been doing for years. When I was doing, Think Big, Work Small, the National Real Estate Post, Mortgage Shots, and videos literally for a decade now, I know Rocket's commitment to the broker industry, and it is absolutely unquestionable that they are rock steady in our corner, concentrated, unfiltered. They are committed to this space, and these programs really speak to that. Now, in addition to that, we had a conversation, and I don't know if we want to meander here, but I found it really fascinating. We're going to have some changes to how we lead generate coming up in January. So some folks might be in the business of buying leads as part of what their business is, but that's not necessarily going to go away, but the cost is going to go up significantly. And how we self-gen or work with our partners is, if it's not this January, it's definitely in the works. Can you speak to that a little bit and what Rocket is doing to help our partners?
Look, we all know that there are many, many conversations happening in Capitol Hill today about like, hey, credit triggers and leads and consents and TCPA changes. Who knows what's going to happen? But here's what I say. If you're a broker partner and you are relying solely on leads, where you're purchasing leads, I highly recommend that you start thinking about organic marketing.
Oh, yes.
You have to self-generate your own leads. You can't rely on companies selling you leads. If the TCPA changes goes live, you're going to struggle to be able to buy leads based on the scarcity of those leads or the scarcity of being able to get those leads based on the new TCPA changes. It's not going to be as easy as you think. If triggers go away, what are you going to do if that's what you do? Now, look, ultimately, you should have a kind of an even book of business where you should have leads. When it comes to like generating business, should be depending on leads, but also working on referrals and having relationships with your real estate agents. But if you're someone that all you do is leads, you should start thinking about how do you create your organic leads, meaning yourself, organic digital leads. And if it's something that folks that are listening to this podcast are interested in, I would highly recommend they give us a call. I highly recommend you give me a call so we can figure out how we can help you. Because again, I promise you, there will be changes. And when there are changes, you want to be ahead of those changes so you can continue to be successful. So if you are interested, give us a call. My number is all over the internet. You just have to pick up the phone, and I'll be more than happy to figure it out and talk about it in depth on a one-to-one conversation for sure.
Now, we had this conversation before again, and there's a misconception out there about Rocket TPO with some mortgage brokers that you're essentially using this as a platform to basically take my leads, my people, and move them over to the retail space. I know that's unequivocally not true, but just to get it out there, for those of you who've got a misconception about what Rocket TPO is or is not doing, they're steadfast in our corner. But if I'm taking my self-generated leads and I'm sending them over to Rocket, is Rocket then marketing my clients?
Yeah, the answer is absolutely not. Some folks want to win in any way possible.
Yep.
Even if it's by creating these false narratives. It's nothing new. I've heard this for a very long time. And my answer is very simple. When I first started in TPO, in this channel, I used to be on the retail side. I was the leader of the retail side of Rocket. And when I moved here, 8 years ago, almost a little over 8 years ago, TPO, our channel was doing, I don't know, like 4 or 5 billion a year. We touched 120 plus billion last couple of years. We continue to grow. We are now the second largest wholesale lender. So I would ask whoever is asking or whoever is thinking about this, I would ask them to ask themselves, do you think we'd be able to double and triple and move from the seventh largest lender to the second and do billions? I mean, we're talking an
Yeah.
increase from 5 billion to over 120 billion. Do you think we'd be able to do that if that was our play, meaning you, Brian, bring us a deal and then we're marketing to? At the end of the day, we serve the broker community. And if our broker partners that we strive very much to earn their partnership find out that we're doing that, they're not going to stay with us. Just because they like Mike Fawaz or they're like you or they like someone else or like Tom Appleton, you just gave Tom Appleton a compliment. But if at the end of the day, Rocket is taking your business, it's not going to matter how great Tom Appleton is for you. What's going to matter is your business and protecting your book of business. So the answer is simple. These false narratives does not help anyone. This community needs people that can bring them together and really stand by everyone's side. For example, I was just in Florida and we released this continuing education, meaning certifying community lenders to be able to work in diverse communities, whether it's like women or African American or Hispanic, really certifying folks to be experts in your community. And I was asked on stage, like, is this just for TPO partners? And I said, absolutely not. If you're going to stand up for the broker community, you got to stand up for everyone. Just because you don't do business with me, it doesn't mean that you are not part of my community. At the end of the day, who you do business with is your choice, but who I serve is my choice, and my ultimate choice is the goal of making sure that we help the broker community. So to us, it doesn't matter. We're going to provide it to everyone, regardless of who do business with, and that is the value that we believe the broker community needs today. Look, this community is great. It's growing. You see it. It's growing tremendously at a record pace. You need to unite, not divide. So maybe this is a very long-winded answer to what you asked, but the answer is simple. Absolutely not. We don't do that. That's not what we're in business for.
You really made a distinguishing point that I don't want to get overlooked here. You said that you're going out more or less as an ambassador for the mortgage brokerage factor or of the mortgage market. You're not going out there necessarily as an ambassador for Rocket TPO, though you are. But what you're doing is you're trying to create a better image of brokers across the board if they work with you or not. And that's important. And it's important to me, too. Having done a podcast longer than anybody in the mortgage space for nearly 20 years now, I've had a front row seat to everything that's taken place in this space. And frankly, I think it's had some black eyes. I don't want to delve on this, but I think it's really important to say, hey, listen, when we write a loan and we go out there and we conduct ourselves in the right way, when I write a loan, it's in California, it's going to help somebody in Florida, it's going to help somebody in Texas and Missouri and Michigan. Because we all become ambassadors. And that's really where I see the mortgage brokerage business going. Now, lastly, and you said something, and I don't know what your answer is going to be on this, but I find it fascinating. You had told me when you immigrated to the United States, I believe you said something to the tune of you had to borrow $700 in the shoes that you had. And you came over here and you're so grateful for the position you're in. You obviously had to work to be where you're at right now. Can you tell us a little bit about your backstory?
I'm no one special, to be honest with you. I'm just someone that didn't accept the status quo. I was born in Africa. I didn't have much. I had to go through what a lot of people's been through and what a lot of people continue to go through today. I had to see things that no one would wish any child see. I've seen people get killed in front of me. I've been through a couple of wars and I've had to hide in a trench for like 5, 6, 7, 8 days. I don't know how long. And I've seen a lot of things. I was grabbed out of my mother's hand when I was 11, kidnapped, and my life has seen a fair share of call them teaching moments, moments that I will never forget. But then I decided all along that I want to move here and I want to be able to fix my life and help my family and be able to do things that my family could never have dreamt of. So I came here. I was lucky. Okay. I'm actually, don't quote me on this because I've been talking about it for 2 years, but I am trying to write a book. I'm like 3 chapters in. The title is One Way Ticket. And it's basically my one-way ticket out of Africa to this incredible country. So I was one of the lucky ones that was able to get a one-way ticket. When I moved here and got here, I was wearing a pair of flip-flops, a t-shirt, jeans, and it was snowing in Michigan. And I've never, ever in my life owned like a pair of shoes where I can say, oh, look, this is my shoes. So some people that know me say today will tell you, hey, Fawaz is a sneakerhead. The reality is I'm not really a sneakerhead. I just buy sneakers because I couldn't buy them before, and now I can buy them, so I buy them. So it's not about being a sneakerhead. It's just about uh, telling myself that I can buy whatever I want. Although that doesn't change, like that doesn't change me. Like I'm still very, very humble, I hope. Long story short, man, I got here, went to school, graduated, and I've done a lot. And here I am, 20 something years later. I get an opportunity to speak to you. I get an opportunity to talk to human beings every single day and try to impact their life. And real talk, I wake up every single day asking, telling myself, is this real? Like pinching myself, trying to figure out like is what I'm doing today real? And the reality is, God is great, and you do whatever you need to do. I've never felt like this was a job for me. I told you like on Friday I was not feeling well. I've had, by the way, this shoulder pain for the last 2 weeks. It's a nerve pain. I think it's something from my neck or something like that. Long story short, this morning at 6:30 a.m. I was at the hospital, and they're saying it's some nerve damage. I need to do like an epidural shot in my spine, and I'm like under severe pain. And I finished the hospital and I showed up to work, and here I am having a conversation with you. Some would say, well, Fawaz, you need to take a break. What's wrong with you? And I would say, one, I love what I do. Two, I'm grateful and thankful for what I have. I don't take it lightly. And I show up every single day thinking I'm interviewing for my job. And I show up every single day asking myself, how many human beings can I really impact? And how many human beings can I change their life, even if it means that I say to someone, good morning. It's crazy. I'll tell you, I'll leave you with this, man. About 2 months ago, I was driving down to work, and I stopped at a gas station and I saw an older lady standing on the street, and she looked like something was going on with her. And this was like early morning, like we're talking 6 a.m. And I picked her up and I went to talk to her, and the gas station clerk is like, "Hey, you got to be careful, man." I said, "Hey, relax." I talked to her and she wanted to be dropped off to a restaurant because I believe her granddaughter was trying to drop her off and she couldn't make it. Long story short, she gets in my car, and it's funny because she was complaining she didn't like my car. And in my mind, I'm like, not that I have a nice car, I do have a nice car, but like, you don't have no idea what I've been through in my life to even buy this car, but I loved it. And I shared this with you because she rode in my car. She taught me lessons I could have never ever learned on my own. She taught me how much she loved her grandkids, and how this older lady is still, like, I think she's like 80 something, still trying to make sure that both her grandkids are good. And it's just shocking to how much you can invest in a human being. And then when I dropped her off, and I put a smile on her face because I wanted to make sure I do so. And that day, I, that day meant a lot to me. And I asked myself, how many more of those days can I have? It's no longer about me. It's about the people around me and the people I can impact. I'm not a perfect person by any means, but I am someone that is grateful, and someone that will never forget where he came from, and someone that's willing to go the extra mile, maybe 100 more miles than others.
You said a couple of things there that really speak to me. It's a privilege to be able to invest in other people. When people talk about their database, to me, there's ownership of that. That's kind of coming from a place of entitlement. Like, we don't own our database. I say that's your best opportunity. And what we do as originators, we get to invest in other people. When we invest our time, when we invest our faith, and we come from a place of grace, this is wildly important to me. When we come from a place of graciousness and we realize that it's a privilege to be able to walk into somebody's life and participate with them and help them along their path, it is absolutely a privilege. And when we lose sight of that, our origination business falls up because we start to go from a place of entitlement. Now, here's one thing I want to say in closing. So when I first reached out to Fawaz, I first reached out to him and his team, not from somebody who's been doing a very popular mortgage podcast for the past 20 years, longer than anybody in the space. I came to them from somebody who's new to writing loans again. I haven't written a loan in 15 years. And from Fawaz all the way down, every single person I spoke with, they took that idea of privilege and they ran with it. And I've felt that from you. The number of conversations I've had with you over the past couple of weeks, you've always made yourself available whenever you can. You've been kind, and every one of our conversations run along this line. And I think when we take that and we apply that to our business, we not only do better professionally, but we do better personally. This is why I'm kind of putting my, I'm putting my ticket in with Rocket TPO, because I've known what they've done for over 20 or the past 15 years. But with Fawaz as, the captain of the ship right now, so to speak, if this is how they're going to conduct themselves, your business is a great place when it's with these guys from the top down. And I mean that. So, and I want everybody to understand that. It's important for me that we are coming from a place of grace, of gratitude, and we never, and always put that entitlement in check. And I feel that with you guys. I appreciate the heck out of you. Appreciate your time today. Thank you so much, and I look forward to closing a lot of loans with you.
I'll leave you with a final quote.
Sure.
It's in my office, and when you come to Detroit, I'll share it with you in person. But I'll read it to you, okay?
Uh-huh.
2 things define you: your patience when you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything.
Boy.
And I live by this quote. Be grateful, be humble, worry about people, put human beings first, and you'll win. But you got to put human beings first, and you really got to think about others and treat people like you want to be treated. It's not that hard, right? If you want to be treated nice, be nice. If you want to be treated with care. If you want to be treated with love. If you want others to do for you, do more for them. That's what I believe in. I appreciate you. I'm very, very excited about what you're building. And I promise you, regardless of what you're building, you would get the same amount of time from me anytime. You're a good person. You've been doing something very special for a very, very long time. And I'm excited to see you get back in the game. And I'm hearing great things, my brother. And if you need anything, please reach out. Again, anyone's watching, if you need me, my name is Mike Fawaz. I lead the sales team at Rocket Pro TPO, and I'm here to serve every single broker partner, regardless if you do business with us or not. Thank you.
Fawaz, thank you for your time.